And joining us now from Baton Rouge is John Couvillon with JMC Analytics, pollster extraordinaire. And John, let me start you off by talking about California on Super Tuesday, but it's going to be a while, and you had mentioned this before, it's going to be a little while before those results become official. But what is your take on California?
So my take on California is this. I do believe that Bernie is going to win the state. However, it's going to be kind of a challenge to wait for the results to come in because California allows for 4 weeks for the ballots to be counted. And just yesterday, 180,000 votes were counted after Election Day. And when they finalized the number of ballots that's out there, I'm estimating there's 3 to 4 million still left to count. And that, of course, is the 4 weeks I was referring to a couple of nights ago.
John, we've got an intriguing race in Michigan. It's the 11th most populous state in the nation and 125 Democratic delegates at stake, open format. So what do we need to watch closely in this one?
So what was interesting about Michigan was it was an incredible upset in 2016 when Bernie Sanders had carried the state over Hillary Clinton. The part about the upset which was interesting was that where Bernie won all of his votes was basically everywhere but Detroit. So in my opinion, given the coalitions that supported Bernie 4 years ago versus Hillary, I'm of the opinion that you could substitute Joe Biden for Hillary. In other words, he's going to win the urban areas around Detroit. The question mark then becomes the more rural areas of the state which strongly supported Bernie. If they were voting for Bernie purely because he was not Hillary Clinton, which I think was the case, I would expect Biden to clean up there next Tuesday. But that's going to be what I'm going to be watching, is going to be how the rural counties go, because that's what put Bernie over the top.
John, I found it interesting that Governor Gretchen Whitmer in Michigan has given Joe Biden a full-throated endorsement. She had been repeatedly saying she was not going to do that, endorse any candidate until after the primary. Does this timing of her announcement tell you something?
It does, and I think she's reading the tea leaves and seeing that all the coalitions are likely coming together for Biden. My attitude about the primary, though, is while I do believe that Biden is in strong shape to win just about every primary contest, and notice the word primary that I just used, because North Dakota is having caucuses. Even though I think that Biden's in strong shape for next Tuesday, Michigan has surprised people before, so that's why I would have a little bit of caution when watching and waiting for the results Tuesday.
All right, and finally, I want to talk to you about Washington, which to me is a pretty interesting scenario out there. 89 Democratic delegates are going to be on the line this coming Tuesday, but this is the first time the Democrats have had a primary. It's always been a caucus before. What's the difference, and what difference do you think that's going to make in the race?
So what's interesting about Washington is to make it even more complex, they had a split system of first a caucus, then a primary, and they're doing away with the caucus part for 2020. The big difference is this. With the caucus, you typically have a much more restricted time period, and it tends to be not as flexible in terms of allowing voters to exercise their choice, whereas in a primary, you just walk in, cast your vote, and leave. So the fact that you have a primary now, and by the way, Idaho is also switching to a primary Tuesday. And just like what I saw happen in Colorado this past Tuesday, primaries tend to increase voter turnout substantially. I would suspect the same thing that's going to happen. And by the way, one more thing about Washington, the split treatment that I was referring to, Bernie Sanders actually won the caucus 4 years ago, but lost the primary to Hillary Clinton. Therefore, I think that bodes fairly well for Joe Biden in terms of his chances of winning that primary next Tuesday.
All right. It's not Super Tuesday, but it's going to be fun to watch anyway, John.
Yeah, Little Tuesday.
Little Tuesday, that's right. John Couvillon, thank you so much.